a lot of babies getting tossed out with the bathwater, to use an old-fashioned phrase, in this first few weeks. And of course, as usual, and I'm disappointed about this with President Trump because he served before, we're just forfeiting respect internationally daily. If we had a drinking game where everyone took a drink when the word reverse course or walking this back, we'd be drunk in 20 minutes. It's chaos up there.
You know, you can talk a good game. I'm just looking for the come through. I'm looking for, you know, for the person that many of us voted for or didn't vote. Which I'm just waiting to see what happens next. Things need time, and I'm very optimistic for change.
How's all this landing?
You know, I think what we're starting to see is the very beginning of buyer's remorse setting in. And the voters that I was talking to both before the election and after the election that are kind of these, we say low information, but we just mean people who aren't tapped into politics all the time. They voted for Donald Trump for one very specific reason. They thought things were too expensive. And they still think things are too expensive. But now what you see is they're like, what is he focusing on? I didn't vote for this dismantling of the government. You may see a lot of terminally online people getting really excited about DOGE. But as you can see, there's a lot of sort of more marginal voters who are looking at this and saying, well, this is chaotic. And the other thing is that, you know, a lot of those people were doing, like I heard it from a friend or somebody I knew. It's not just the message that's getting out. It's that people are experiencing negative personal consequences as a result of this. And because what Musk is doing is so vast, right, it's going to have a lot of rippling effects across. It's not just people who work for the government. It's all of the people who do contract work or some other way. And it is all across the country. And so, you know, Donald Trump, you can see it in the poll numbers. I can hear it in the focus groups. Like, it's already starting to turn. And that is a bad sign for Trump because honeymoons, even for him, he was getting a pretty muted honeymoon. But honeymoons still usually last a little bit longer than this.
I mean, Basil, my experience in politics is that when you lose trust and faith on the economy, it is not just the price of eggs. It's that whether your kids have a job or not, your friends' kids have moved back home into the room you turned into your gym and your sewing room. It is a contagion of economic anxiety. And the fact that Trump is doing things that do not promise to make inflation better, you've got the price of things being expensive, plus this deep anxiety. And I dare them to shut down town hall meetings. Right. They're lucky their voters are going to town hall meetings, because when they don't go to town hall meetings or call into Sean Hannity, I mean, that's all friendly fire. Like, we are for you. We are still your voter. You know, help us help you. What happens next is political disaffection and worse. You know,
right before the election, we talked a lot about the Project 2025 and how this is not 5 years. This is a 180-day rapid change in your life. I don't know that any of us would have expected this particular circus, but all of it fits into the same pattern, that there was intentionality around making sure that Americans saw a show. And initially I said, you know, sometimes, you know, just there's this old adage, those that can't hear must feel. And that at some point, even if you don't pay attention to what we're saying about what's coming, you're going to end up feeling it. I don't wish that on anybody, but the problem is that it is now here. So these members of Congress that are saying, or the guidance that says, don't meet your voter in person, do them via Zoom. How cowardly is that?
Yeah, and when I say or worse, I mean or worse, they become open to Democrats, right? And I know that takes years, right? That's not, because I went out and interviewed Trump voters in the first term, and all the chaos, and they were with him through a lot of chaos. But this feels like intentional pain and suffering.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, though. If the MAGA voters, the ones that are definitely with him, are sort of yelping in pain at the moment, then there's this whole other cohort of voters. And these are the people I think about all the time. They're not MAGA voters. They just voted for Trump because they were mad about the economy. Yeah. And that's a lot of people. And so those are the people that are easy swings back when they say, not only is this guy not focusing on what I thought he was going to focus on, things are now actually getting worse because of tariffs or whatever. But I love that their response is like, well, you don't have COVID if you don't test or something. It's like, your voters aren't mad if you don't listen to them. That's great. That's a great strategy.
It's amazing because they'll go somewhere else. I mean, Melanie, I wonder how the edict to simply not face your voters went over. I mean, did people say, well, I'm not going to do that. I've done that every month for a gazillion years?
Yeah, there are certainly some Republican members, especially some who have been around here forever, who aren't going to take that advice and have no problem going face to face with their constituents. I mean, this is important because these are constituents who elected them to come to Congress. They're the people who will be responsible for electing them again. And so these Republicans want to have face time with their constituents. But there are other members, particularly maybe in some of these more vulnerable districts, maybe some of the newer members who don't know how to handle it, who just were a little bit spooked by what they saw. And that's why they were pleading with the leadership for just some guidance about how to navigate this. And just in general, they feel like they've gotten really no information from the Trump administration about these cuts. They have not been consulted. They've been left largely in the dark. And that has put them in a really bad spot because when they are asked questions, they just don't have the answers to them.